How we doing? How we doing? I'm Charlie Anteby. I'm here with the Charlie in the Morning Show. I don't want to get involved in something I don't know much about, but I'm going to get involved. And that is what we're doing to educate and expand the minds of our children. What are we doing? At what point is an adult, is a child old enough to have a conversation that is on the level of an adult conversation? I remember I was working at 9, I was working serious at 10, at 11, I was working, seriously working. 12, 13, I was in a retail business, electronics. I was as good as any salesman in the store. I brought sales to the register all freaking day long. And you know what? I was working for relatives, and some of my relatives didn't know how to say thank you or good sale or nice job. They just didn't know how. Wasn't in them. Wasn't in their personalities. Wasn't in their upbringing. I don't care. I think back about it now. It makes me wonder, am I offended? I'm not offended. And whoever I worked for, they know who you are. You know who you are. It's okay. I'm over it. I know one thing. I know I would kill today to get a 13, 12, 14-year-old kid to come work in my store for $25, $30 a day like I was earning then. In some cases, I had one job. I was 1972, 71. I was making 12 hours, $1.25 an hour. You're talking about earnings of $15 for a 12-hour day. And I was happy with it. And in that case, the man knew how to say thank you, and he knew how to be very, very kind about it. And he sold food, so I ate quite a bit. I was a hungry young kid, what could I tell you? But at what point can we have a conversation with a kid, and that conversation could be something that the kid could start to develop ideas, thoughts, memories, and benefit from? My father used to tell me a line. He didn't make it up, he read it somewhere. He said, what the human mind can perceive and believe, it can achieve. And the meaning of which is, if you could see it in your brain, if you could believe it could happen, you could do it. And God knows we've done some amazing things on this planet as a race of people, the human race. We've come up with cures, we've come up with vaccines, we put men on the moon, we put men on Mars, we've created airplanes and battleships and who knows the size of things, and we built buildings that you can't even look up that high, and they stand and they withstand and they go through hurricanes and they go through tornadoes. So, and we have underground transportation, and we have bridges that span who knows what kind of distances, because that's who we are. That's who we are. The human race, we're driven people. We get ideas in our head. We figure out how it could happen. And if we fail the first time, we come back and we try again. That's okay too. So it brings us back to the question of, what are we teaching our kids? What is curriculum? Who's designing curriculum? Why are they designing the curriculum the way they're designing it? I'm not knocking anybody. I'm not in the business. I don't know nothing. I know nothing. But what I do know is that if somebody is going to achieve greatness, it's going to start with a seed, and that seed is not going to be planted at the later stage of their life. More than likely, it's going to be planted as the earliest stage of their life. I don't have to go on and on about this. I don't have to elaborate. I don't have to say it 7 different ways. I said what I had to say. Okay? You sit down with your kid and you have, if they're above bar mitzvah age, you have a talk with them. And if you want to achieve the right setting, you take them out for something they like. Maybe sushi, maybe pizza, maybe Italian food, maybe kosher steak. I don't know what you take them out for. But you take them out and you treat them with the respect of being an individual. And you try to conduct a conversation on a higher level. And you try to maybe paint a picture. And you try and see how they respond to that. And when they respond to the picture, you could go a level in more and you could go further and deeper. And you could start from way, way out in left field by the bleachers or whatever the heck they're called. You don't have to start from A, you start from Z, work your way backwards. Right? You know, I could see you, my kid, maybe opening an airline. Opening an airline? What do I know about opening an airline? Oh, what are you talking about? Well, you know, you're a smart kid, you got a good education, you're getting good grades, you're going to get a better education, you have access to resources, you come up with ideas, maybe you're going to have the idea nobody thought of, you're going to start putting it into airplanes, and then you're going to start having more airplanes, and you start to go, and they look at you like you're out of your mind, but then you explain to them, and you maybe spell out who some of those partners might wish to be in the early stages. You start to really diagram this thing, because that is part of the perceive. We'll start with perceive. What would this thing look like if it was viable? Then we'll go to, do we believe in it? Then we'll go to, can we achieve it? What the human mind can perceive and believe, it can achieve. I want to wish everybody a Shabbat Shalom. I want to tell everybody, let's be kind to each other. Let's be nice to each other. There's so much struggle out there. There's so much hardship. There's so much battle. Battle's not a word that came to mind often when describing what's going on out there and how's it going out there. Battle is not a word that was used often in my vocabulary and in my description of things. Today we have battle. We have real battle. So I want to get over that. I don't know how we get over it, but as long as we're in it, as long as we're waking up each of us every day like a freaking general, fighting on multiple fronts, air, land, and sea in different locations, each, why don't we make it a little easier on each other? Why don't we talk with a little bit of softness? The bullying, the egotism, it's not getting anybody anywhere. Believe me, it's not. It's not. I had a situation, I had a list of people to present something to. One guy took a very a wise guy tone with me. Like normal protocol and the normal steps in the process was somehow, he's belittling me for engaging in them. And I said, listen, not going to happen. I hung up the phone. We spoke again a couple of days later. I had already contacted number 2 out of 6. I didn't need to wait for him. Right? Now he's offended. You're offended? Okay, good. I have no apologies to offer you. Because I'm not going to be bullied. I'd rather not make the deal at all or make it with number 2 through 6 than make it with number 1 who's going to bully me. It's not going to go down your way. I don't mean to privatize the message here. I don't mean to single out one situation. I got to tell you, I talk to people throughout the day, and I can't believe at the ages some of these people are that nobody taught them how to communicate like responsible, civilized business people. How they stumbling through life, I'm not upset about it. If anything, I want to thank Hashem for me not being one of them. We're nearing in on 10 minutes. Have a great night. Have a great day. Charlie in the morning. Keep tuning in. If you want to send money, thank you. I've been getting some nice checks. P.O. Box 100, Deal, New Jersey 07723.